Well, Dr. James Bowe is a US political historian and author, and he joins us now from our central London studio. Doctor, thank you for joining us on Sky News this afternoon. When he made these decisions, presumably the President was in possession of all of the facts.
Good afternoon, Kay. No doubt about it, but what you find here is, as Steve from Birmingham rightly pointed out, when Barack Obama signed and agreed to the deal, which would enable the White House to have to give 30 days notice to congressional leaders before any prisoners were released from Gitmo, he also issued what's called a signing statement, which basically said, yes, I'm signing this, but I don't agree to be bound by it because I am, after all, Commander-in-Chief. So it is something of a problematic situation with the American law at this point.
One of the major problems, it would appear on the surface, is that the President has aligned himself very squarely with this family, and now the squad that this young man previously was a part of is saying actually he was a deserter, and more than that, he has cost lives.
Indeed, I think someone's really messed up in the White House with regard to how this has been put together. Many of your viewers will have seen, for example, the President standing with this young man's mother and father. Some of them may be slightly taken aback by the appearance, for example, of his father. They don't look like the quintessential American military family, for example. His father has made some interesting posts upon Twitter, for example, claiming to refer to democracy as a cult, I quote. This idea, I think, that there is questions about whether this soldier was indeed a hero or a deserter. The US Army has just announced within the last hour or so that they're going to order an inquiry into the details of his disappearance, shall we say. But by all intents and purposes, the understanding is that he left his post without his sidearm and put American lives at risk in the process.
And perhaps even more challenging than that is these five former members, or still members of the Taliban, who have been held at Guantanamo Bay since its opening. And the admission from the President earlier on today that they could still be a threat in the future.
It is quite remarkable, isn't it? I know that President Obama campaigned heavily in 2008 to close Guantanamo Bay, but here we are now, some 6 years later, it's still open. The suggestion amongst individuals on Capitol Hill is this could be the beginning of an effort to try to sort of drip by drip release people from Gitmo. That would, of course, be in contravention of current American law. It seemed that this weekend you couldn't have a major story without the Qatari government becoming involved. We obviously heard about the World Cup. Now here they are dealing with the Americans. They were very much a middleman. The administration can quite clearly say we didn't negotiate with terrorists because the Qatari government appear to have acted as a middleman. But what seems apparent, Kay, is that these people will be leaving Gitmo, if they haven't already, and basically be secured, it looks like in Doha, for example. There's much worse places to be, I can tell you, having been over there quite recently. So I think there'll be a lot of people, Ted Cruz, for example, who'll be quite rightly asking questions about why it is that these people, who, as the President has admitted, could well be a threat to American national security, could, for all intents and purposes, be pretty much free to roam the streets of Doha for the next 12 months at least.
As far as the President is concerned, finally, there has been mention of impeachment. We've seen it with two previous presidents. Neither case, I think, was proven, if I'm right in saying that. But what do you think is going to happen as far as suggestions that President Obama could be impeached?
Well, let's be honest about it. This is a political football. We're into the American political funny season. We have midterms coming up. Impeachment is always an easy word to band around. As you saw with the case of Bill Clinton, you can impeach a president and derail his domestic agenda, but getting to a point where he'd be removed from office is a very, very difficult situation. It's never happened in American political history to date. No president has been removed from office through the impeachment process. Richard Nixon, of course, resigned before he could be turfed out effectively. So I think this is just another exercise in Republicans really trying to throw mud at the wall and hope something sticks.
OK, for now, thank you very much indeed. Thank you.